as a young woman, you do have to handle a lot. You do handle a lot as a young woman. You handle every type of like garbage that, humanity, you see it all basically as a young woman. Like you see it all. People, everybody in your life will body shame you for one. Everybody. I've gotten people telling me I'm too skinny since I was like 11, you know? Can you control that? Really, can you control that? And do I want to control that for anyone outside of me? Like, hello? No, no. If I change, it'll be for me, right? That's the first thing. You get body shamed by everybody. People will tell you you're too skinny, you're too large, you're too tall, you're too short, you wear too much makeup, you don't wear enough makeup. So you get that. As a young woman, if you're masculine, which I have a healthy dose of masculinity within me, trust me. Like I'm a lot more masculine than a lot of individuals are because I was raised by a very masculine figure, who basically raised me like a tomboy. Like I was raised like just completely to like be very um outspoken and to speak my mind and to have a lot of confidence and a lot of all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like I was not treated like I'm a girl. I was treated like I'm a child that needs nurturing and strength and growth and education. You know what I mean? So I was really like built up by my parents. Like I feel very fortunate to have the best, I think, parents in the world. I'm pretty sure. I'm like a billion% sure. Um, but yeah, so you very quickly learn as a young woman that no, society just sees you like a body. They just see you like a body, and they see you like a face, and they see you from the perspective of what they can take from you as a beautiful young woman. So you get that. You also get a healthy dose of why are you speaking your mind? You're just a girl or you're just a woman. You also this is the best one. You also get a healthy dose of how old are you? What is your actual age, right? Like even if you sound a little like high pitched or like maybe you like a lot of color, maybe you are neurodivergent, maybe you are just a very expressive unique person, you will get infantilized. Is that how you say it? Infantilized? Yeah, basically you'll get treated like a child, like you're not worth taking seriously, especially like for me, I grew up loving the color pink and I just love color. So I always grew up wearing a lot of color. Like you will rarely catch me wearing black. Like it's just not something that I do. And so I consistently would get remarks from people, just kind of insinuating that they did not like take me seriously enough just because of my appearance, because I like to wear clips in my hair, like whatever it is. And that is so beyond crazy to me because it just shows me that we live very much so in a society that is asleep, in a society that is just unaware. They're not aware to see through energy. Like people do not see through the energy of things. It blew my mind when I realized that oh, like people can't see that relationship is fake. Like I could see it, you know what I mean? And I just things like that. I just grew up seeing the truth within things. And that eventually made life quite difficult for me as a beautiful young woman, because this brings me to my next point. I eventually found out that the friends that I had around me were so beyond jealous of me, and they were not even aware of it. But the prettiest in the room is always the most envied, especially if you have intelligence to match. And this was often the case for me in every room I was in. I was the smartest, I was the most put together, and I was the most attractive. And that's just the truth. And I also knew my worth. I knew all of these things, and I was humble. That is a lethal combination. And yes, I can say all these things and still be a humble person, because the two are not mutually exclusive. Like knowing my worth does not detract from my humility. Again, the two are not mutually exclusive whatsoever. They don't even appear in the same category of personality classification or inner work. So that's something that I had to deal with. I had to deal with, oh my God, everybody around me, or like the girls around me, uh, either wanted to be my friend because I looked a certain way, or they hated me because I looked and carried myself a certain way. So that's another thing that the attractive young woman goes through. And it's very painful. I had my heart broken multiple times, and for many years. My heart was broken for many years because it felt like literally, honestly, everybody in my life was breaking my heart. And it did not clock to me that, Seema, they don't see you from the way you see them. Like, they don't see you from the inner eye. They don't see you from your perspective. They see you as a talking face and a body and a, you know what I mean? Like a separate thing from them. And I don't know if it is just me and the way that I operate, and like, but it took me a long time to figure that out because I was not aware of like my beauty. I was not aware of my intelligence. I was not aware that I was significantly luckier and like more different from everybody that I was surrounded by. I basically didn't know my worth fully. Like, I knew some of it, but I didn't know my worth fully. This is very, very dangerous. This puts the attractive, beautiful, and beautiful hearted young woman in a room full of piranhas that literally like want to see her fall and want to see her fail. And so I didn't read, guys, like, I'm telling you, my heart was broken significantly. That is what prompted me to go on my spiritual journey, and that's what led me to finding God, because I felt that, wow, I'm being abused by everybody. That, it was a lot of abuse. It was a lot of abuse that I went through, all types: physical, mental, emotional. I was abused by everybody, family, friends, everybody. And so when you go through that, you really want to die. Like, you do. You just really, you don't want to be here. You're like, wow, uh, I why should I be alive? And again, I back then, even, I was significantly less attractive than I am now, significantly less aware, less spiritually awakened, less, just younger, just younger. And so when you are young also like that, and you don't realize the truth of human psychology, like, I didn't have, I guess, the same psychological makeup that a lot of people around me had, or that the majority of society has, right? Like, I'm not a jealous person, never been, not that I can recall. I internalize my pain. I don't vent to people. I don't extract energy from people. I give energy to people. I'm a giver, and so it is always the like the giver in the room, whether she is giving her energy or her beauty or her love or her, her mercy and like well wishes to people, her authenticity to people, her personality, even her humor, right? It is always the giver that is screwed over in the current society that we live in within Kali Yuga. Okay. And so this is not something that I understood as a young woman. And so now that I'm older and I have significantly seen human psychology for what it actually is, and I've spent many, many years developing insight, intuition, developing spiritually, and understanding the world more, like, now I know that, wow, all of that happened because they knew that I was different, and they hated that, and they saw something there that they could prey on, and like, I also had the program again of like lower, self-worth. And so I allowed it. Like, when you're young, I just had no idea of boundaries. Like, I had no idea of human psychology. I had no idea that people were seeing me as like separate from them, and that like we were not all in this together, like, when you take innocence and you put it somewhere, it stands out. And like, the best example I can give is like when you have a glass of water that is pure and untainted, and you drop blood, or you drop like a, something within the water, it'll muddy up the whole water. And so I just want to say that I'm so glad that I cut myself off from all these environments and people and things that wanted to take my light. They really did. Even if it was insidious, even if it was on a mental level, even if it was just so deeply rooted in ignorance that they didn't even know what they were doing or saying, like, it was there. The energy to take and steal and destroy was there. And I know it's just not only the case for me. I know a lot of beautiful, pure-hearted women go through this. And I want to tell you that it is to teach you about human psychology, and it is to teach you about who you are and your self-worth and your connection to the divine. Keep connecting.